All right, everyone. I hope you all had a nice weekend. So an update, Rachel and I are going to be changing locations here for the next 2 weeks. We're moving from Kentucky to Olympia, Washington. So a very long road trip. We're going to be looking for a home there when we get there too. So a very busy time. I'll be away from my desk. So what I'm going to do is record the weekly for this week and then pre-record a weekly for next week, so you guys have all of the aspects during these 2 weeks that I will be away. I'm still available. You can message me down below in the comment section if you have any questions. I'm also available through the website also. But for these dailies, I'm just going to put them into 1 week for the next 2 weeks. Then I'll be back and we'll be back up to normal. So this week, let's go ahead and have a look. We've got this full moon in Aries here on Tuesday. So this is all about assertiveness. It's all about confidence. It's all about our self-image, us in many ways, putting energy into our life. So here with the full moon, it's always a time of awareness. It's always a time of seeing, also maybe a culmination point of any new things we started about 6 months ago, now coming to the forefront in terms of our goals, our ambitions, our drives at that time. And, at the very least, though, it's that sun energy bouncing off the moon. So we can see it. We can see it very clearly. We know what our ambitions are. We know what our goals are very clearly at this time. And so it's a matter of implementing it and putting it into the different areas of our life here. And it could be, good for physical exercise. It could be, good for pursuing things. That energy is really about getting that ball moving and energy moving forward in that way that we feel is for our highest good and the highest good of all. So with that context, we are still in this whole lunar cycle of Virgo, which is relating to health, diet, routine, maybe the work environment, developing our crafts, which is going to be a much larger energy. That's going to be for the next 6 months. But it just started 2 weeks ago. So it could be, at least on a short-term level, an awareness of that and a culmination of those things also. And so reflecting on that, how is that going? How's the routine, the health, the diet, those areas of life, the analytical, the practical, taking care of things in the short term so that we can continue to move forward in the long term with those matters. So that's going to be the high point of the week is on Tuesday with those kinds of energies. Now on Monday, we are finishing up a couple of aspects. Mercury is going to be opposing up to Uranus and Venus conjoining up to Jupiter from the previous weekend. So here, just continuing to keep everything nice and grounded, not watching any extremes, with Uranus opposing up to Mercury, maybe involving the daily work environment and the rest. Uranus has been in Pisces, so there is this importance of balancing both the practical and spiritual aspects of life on Monday. And same thing with the relationships, watching any extremes with that, and also the financial or material stuff. And that's not the same as the opposition. That's just a very strong buoyancy, actually, and a very good optimism, I feel like. When it comes to the relationships, learning more about relationships, learning more about what we value. And coming from that approach, it's quite nice, actually. There's a lot to learn with this. But, Jupiter always does expand the energy, and that's why I say grounded with those areas, with those Venusian areas, just because, there's a lot of that optimism and push, but utilizing it and grounding it. And again, really being grateful for what we have in our life, both on the relationship and material level, is a great way of working with this sort of conjunction. Now, this early part of the week does have Venus opposing up to Chiron, so there is a healing taking place this week. I don't feel like it's going to be a very deep healing. It's a benefic, it's Venus. For most of us, it depends on our personal charts, of course. But here it's involving relationships and those values. So with Chiron, it's all about learning, and it's all about being open to healing, any wounds relating to that. So by learning more about ourselves with this full moon in Aries, by learning more about our relationships, what we value, who we value, things like that, the healing will just happen very naturally. And I feel like after this energy on Tuesday, it's rejuvenating. After a Chiron transit, it's always this revitalizing kind of spirit. And here it'll be with our one-on-one connections and values. One thing I want to say too about this full moon, actually, it is very well aspected. It is sextiling up to Neptune. So around Tuesday, this whole time period, while it is very active and assertive, and that Aries, passion energy, it's also very easygoing. Sextiles up to Neptune feel like we can ride the waves of life. There's an ebb and flow. In Aquarius, it's being open to new and different things. Neptune in Aquarius has been showing us how to tap into our true self and a spiritual level and connect with that. So in either way, there is good support when we are going with the flow, adaptive, and trying new things this week, especially around Tuesday. So then the later part of the week, we have a few different aspects. Jupiter will then be opposing up to Chiron for the next couple weeks. So here, again, I feel like this is more benefic energy because it's Jupiter. Being open to learning about our life path, learning more about our possibilities in life, what is possible, and healing wounds relating to that as well. I feel like next week that's going to be, a strong emphasis here. Just these last, 3 or 4 days of the week is just being open to learning more about, again, ourselves, but here the future, what's possible, and expanding on that level, as well as maybe reflecting on our philosophy and things like that. Now, what's really going to be emphasized, though, is the sun trining up to Neptune here Friday and Saturday. Good flow of energy, just like with that new moon. Here it's specifically relating to our self-expression, matters that we're passionate about, the creativity, all of that could be quite heightened. But it's just an easy flow, and could be a good merge to a good space for some of us that we just feel sort of rejuvenated and refreshed with this kind of aspect. I'm getting a strong sense of that sort of revitalizing, watery, healing, and then the outcome being, this sort of new take, this new, space and presence that we'll have in the daily sphere of things. Because again, everything is still very much in Virgo. So then the week tops off here Saturday, Sunday with Venus going very close to Mars, that conjunction. And next week they'll be going into Virgo, which I'll talk more about. So over the weekend, a good time for asserting ourselves in the relationships and enjoying a lot of this Aries energy. Mars significating that first house, that Aries ruler. Enjoying that yin-yang, masculine, feminine, this sort of combined energy of what we want to pursue, what we enjoy, and all of that's going to go into the analytical, practical stuff. So it's going to be, I think, over the weekend, more motivation to take care of the daily things, the routine, the health, the work environment, and enjoy that stuff very much as well for the next couple months with Venus there. So I'll talk about more on that on the next weekly, but here this week, certainly the high point is here on Tuesday, which is this full moon here in Aries, that energy, that assertiveness, that at least illumination of self available that can then be channeled into the different areas of life. Very well aspected up to Neptune, an easy flow of energy, and some healing taking place as there has been this week. All right, everyone. So have a great one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in 2 weeks, but I'll have the weekly up for you next week. Take care.